Because we're moving.
Moving? Oh my God, that calls for a drink. Hence the messy kitchen.
Agree. Take a look at it.
So Kyle,
Yes?
last time we got together with the folks, we were doing your very first RV show. Remember that?
Oh, that's right.
We've made some big decisions since then. Today's all about our journey on decision process on what we're doing with our house. So Kyle, welcome to the backyard.
Welcome.
So let's tell the folks a little bit about our story, and then we'll kind of go through the decision process here. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Scott Watson. You are.
I'm Kyle Trump.
And we live in the Chicagoland in the little village of Forest Park. It's about 10 miles due west of downtown Chicago. We've been here for about 15 years. Kyle, maybe just tell the folks a little bit about how we met and how we ended up in Chicago from Seattle.
We actually met at a bar in Seattle. We hit it off right away. He got a new job. And we decided to move from Seattle to Chicago.
And we've been in a lot of different business ventures over those 15 years together. We've bed and breakfast. We did that for a few years. We did some real estate investing and rehabbing. Own a few rental properties and have great corporate careers. But for me, I was just ready for change, and I'm kind of upsetting the family apple cart here by introducing some new change into our lives. And what we wanted to share today was the decision process that we went through to what to do with our house. So what kind of options do we look at with a house?
We looked at quite a few options. One of the options was getting a roommate, getting two roommates, because we have a very big house. We thought about selling the house. I think selling the house, at one point we did agree to sell the house because right now it's a hot market.
And we kind of stumbled upon the idea is if you sell it, you get an immediate cash fusion, but if you do something like a rental or an Airbnb, now you have an income stream. And so that income stream became pretty attractive to us, right?
Exactly, yeah. So we decided to
totally interrupt. And the idea was to be able to do both of these things. Full-time RV for me, a little more flexibility on his schedule. We need to unload the mortgage overhead. So that's where we kind of ended up on this. How can we have the property generate income? Because that became very important to free up dollars for other things. So roommates didn't quite cover it. Selling it, we want to keep the asset, but generate income stream from it. Renting it, we probably couldn't. I think the math showed we couldn't really get the amount of money we wanted for it. I certainly wouldn't make a big profit like the potential of an Airbnb could. So you did a lot of research on Airbnb. What was some of the research you went through to determine that an Airbnb property could generate income? What was your kind of thought process, or what kind of research did you do?
We had a friend that lived in Florida. He kind of mentioned to us that he is turning his house in Florida into Airbnb. I say our friend, neighbors.
Hi, Rob. Peter.
And he was just shocked at how much people wanted to rent his property, and it's not long-term rental but short-term rental. And if you never heard of Airbnb, I highly recommend you go on YouTube to go to put an Airbnb. You can learn a lot from Airbnb. I spent a month and a half almost every night before I go to sleep, watch all these videos on the Airbnb and try to understand what Airbnb is all about. What does it take? What is it? What do we need? What is a potential property, etc. And I think we decided to test out the Airbnb market at the end.
So after the decision was made to do Airbnb, got the house listed. So I remember we put it on live on Airbnb on a Sunday night about 11 o'clock. And when did we get the first booking request?
The next day.
The next day?
I know.
How many requests and bookings did we get in the first 48 hours?
I think we had about 5.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow.
It was pretty crazy. They kept coming in, and so then it was a race to who's going to answer them first. So we kind of started having it started off a whole nother series of who's going to be in charge of what, and a whole nother business meeting around who's answering the guests, how are we answering the guests, had to learn new stuff on Airbnb. Like Kyle alluded to, there's some really great videos on YouTube on how to setting up an Airbnb business, and we'll put some of those links in the video down below. But we were, safe to say, shocked that the response was so great. And we've been live now less than 2 weeks, and we've got probably...
Well, let's just say that we are fully booked 3 months.
So midway all through to the end of August. So our wildest expectations have been exceeded, and it kind of validates that this is a real deal. So if you're deciding sell, rent, roommates, Airbnb, if you have a good house in a good location, and there's a draw to it, we would recommend looking at Airbnb, at least giving it a test drive. I think the other thing that's been cool about Airbnb is as we look to downsize and have a much more mobile life, it's a good way to start thinning out things that you don't need and putting things in storage or getting rid of altogether. That's hence the messy kitchen you saw earlier was start thinning that out for guests and getting rid of some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like kind of lessons learned was having a vision, having a plan, having buy-in, compromise, certainly a big part of that equation. Everybody in the end gets what they want, separate but equal. From our relationship, we've always decided that we're a better sum than separate parts, and we do live life on different terms than most people. Always have, really, even before we met each other. So this just kind of furthers the continuance of making our own way, writing our own story, not adhering to other people's expectations or, hey, you should really do this. And I'm super thankful that I have such a supportive partner in this new venture. I'm, as Kyle said, super passionate about it. But we're really going to win in the end. So there's a lot more to come on the journey. We are really excited to have you here, part of that journey. Hopefully we're adding a little bit of value today on the Airbnb thing. If you have questions, message us, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. We'll put some of those links in the places down below. Heck, if you're visiting Chicago, looking for an awesome place to stay, check us out. It's a wonderful house. Kyle, should they subscribe to our channel or should they not?
You definitely should.
They should thumbs up on the video.
Thumbs up.
And please subscribe. So again, this is Scott, and you are?
Kyle.
And we are Go Small, Living Large.
Thank you.
See ya.